Cheeky.
Wait for him to move.
Stop! Hi guys, welcome back to Clearview Driving. My name is Aman and today I'm doing a mock test with Abdullah. Now this is the first time we've met and you've never done a mock test before?
No.
Okay. Now how many hours of driving lessons or practice have you had, would you say?
So 20 to 30.
20 to 30. Okay, now do you have a driving test booked at the minute?
No, at the moment, no.
No, but you wanted to just see how you'd get on in a mock test,
Yes.
so you know what you need to address going forward.
Yeah.
Okay. Now are you familiar with the roads
Yeah.
around here?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. All right, so do you know how this test is going to be conducted and what to kind of expect?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, do you want me to tell you? Or?
Yeah.
Okay, so throughout the drive I want you to follow the road ahead. Whenever I need you to turn, I'll tell you. If I don't say anything, you're just going straight. If you're not sure where you're going, you can just ask me. Okay, so we're going to do one manoeuvre. We may also carry out the emergency stop, similar to everything you've been practicing with your instructor. Okay? Okay, so before we get started, I am going to ask you a question about your vehicle. Okay, so could you tell me, how would you switch on your fog lights and when would you use them?
Fog lights you use when, obviously, when there's a high amount of fog in front of you and you can't see,
Okay.
and to alert the drivers in front and behind.
Okay, so do you know how you would turn them on?
Yeah, you turn.
Is there a particular symbol you're kind of looking for?
Yeah, the one that has the blue signal, right?
Nearly.
Is it not?
It's okay. Okay. All right, so for anyone that's new to watching this channel, don't forget to like the video, comment down below, subscribe if you're new, and we're going to go straight into it. So when you're ready, Abdullah, I'd like you to start the engine and we're going to make our way down this road and make a right turn, okay? Okay, so drive off when you're ready and let's make a right turn at the end.
Handbrake.
It's on the far right, just pull it. So we're going right from here, yeah? With just 2 hours of driving lessons and over 20 hours with family, Abdullah is definitely a very confident driver, and the gap that he takes at this junction, most learner drivers would not have taken this. There was a vehicle approaching from the left-hand side, so you want to make sure you're not taking any risky gaps. Even if you feel like you can go in, make sure the vehicle on the main road does not have to step off the accelerator or have to brake for you. Driving along this road, Abdullah is driving nicely up to the speed of the road. He's regularly checking his mirrors and he's even using fourth gear to drive at 30. But we are slightly on the upper end of the speed limit. Now ahead of us we have a zebra crossing and a mini roundabout. He takes this all in third gear, but we were a bit fast. Had somebody turned up for this zebra crossing, this would have been a very sharp break as we can't see the left hand side. So it would have been a good idea to approach slower. And if you could pull in and park up on the left just before the van, just leave enough space to move away. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to start the independent driving from here, where I'm going to give you a series of directions to follow. Okay. So as we head down this road, I want you to follow some signs towards Uxbridge.
Okay.
Okay? So drive off whenever you're ready. Unfortunately, driving along this road, Abdullah does get a serious fault with use of speed as he's driving 35 miles per hour in a 30 zone going into a right bend, and I did have to remind him it's a 30 zone. It is a 30 zone, yeah? terms of the speeding fault along this road, as it's a fairly wide road, had Abdullah only been briefly over the speed limit by 1 or 2 miles per hour and then slowed down once he realised, it would not have been a major fault. But as he was going excessively over the speed limit and I did have to remind him to slow down, it went up as a serious fault straight away. You always want to watch your speed, especially when we're going into a bend, as we can't predict what's happening ahead. So the signs are coming up shortly. So Uxbridge is signposted as a right turn on this roundabout, and there are 2 ways to get to Uxbridge. One is to enter from the right hand lane and go into the middle of the dual carriageway and make a right turn, and the other is to enter from the right but go round the roundabout and then exit as the 4th exit. Abdullah's very confident when driving on this road, and he's regularly checking what's behind as well as maintaining a really good following distance. Now, approaching this stop at the traffic lights, he's using the foot brake by itself, which uses the brake and engine brake together because he's not putting the clutch down until the speed is close to 20 miles per hour. So at this point he puts the clutch down, disconnecting the engine from the tyres, pops it into neutral and continues braking until we roll to a stop. Now this would only be a concern if you intend on using engine brake to slow down further, or if you intend to move off. It's really dangerous of him to do that. Okay, so we're now going to be following signs towards Hillingdon Hospital. There'll be their H and A&E signs. Okay. So we've now got back into a 30 miles per hour zone, and we have been driving 50 for quite some time, so 30 will feel too slow. Now as we're going around the roundabout, again, Abdullah does take the roundabout a bit too fast. Now approaching this next mini roundabout, Abdullah gets marked down for approaching the roundabout too fast. He takes the roundabout in 4th gear. Now the slowest your car will go in 4th gear is around 20 miles per hour. Now that is too fast considering we're having to go round the roundabout and we may need to give way to traffic that turns up. be the end of your independent driving. I'm going to give you directions as normal from now on, okay?
Okay.
Okay, I'd like you to turn right at the roundabout. I'd like you to take the next road on your left that's coming up shortly. Okay, Abdullah, if you can pull in and park up on the left hand side of the road, please. Don't worry about the yellow line on this occasion. That's fine then, thank you. Okay, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to get you to carry out the emergency stop. As you're driving down this road, I'm going to make sure it's nice and safe, and I'm going to give you this signal. Stop. As soon as you get that signal, I'd like you to stop the car as quickly and as safely as possible, but wait for my signal before you stop the car. But in the meantime, just drive normally. Okay? So drive off whenever you're ready. Stop! Stop! Thank you. Drive off whenever you're ready. So we're not going to be doing that again, okay?
Okay.
Take the next road on your right, please. Just in here.
Wait for him to move.
And turn right at the end of this road, please. Okay, I'd like you to continue ahead at both roundabouts. Here we have two roundabouts very close together, and Abdullah does both of these really well. He positions really nicely for the first one and then makes sure to observe correctly at the second one. A lot of the times people forget to look at the second roundabout because it now feels like you're on the main road. So driving along this road again, Abdullah did go over the speed limit. It is a 30 road with no speed signs but street lamps. The vehicles around us were driving a bit fast, which is the reason why he did exceed the speed limit, but as soon as he realised, he did slow down. Take the next road on your left, please. Abdullah, when it's safe to do so, I'd like you to demonstrate how you would turn on the rear demister. When it comes to operating the demisters, these controls are generally in the center console along the middle of the car. If you get this question wrong, it is not a fault. Usually the examiner will ask you to park up on the side of the road and then even show you where the control is and then ask you to carry out the control again whilst you're driving.
When you push it back.
Don't worry about that. You'll be marked down for ancillary controls if you end up losing control of the steering wheel whilst carrying out these controls, or your speed is affected drastically, so you end up speeding up whilst doing this or slowing down too much. Okay, now at the roundabout, I'd like you to take the third exit right, please. Okay, now at the roundabout, turn right, please. Now ahead of us, the road is starting to get busier as we're going into a high street. There are two large buses and a junction opposite, and Abdullah does really well to slow down leading into this, as there could be pedestrians that may be crossing in between the buses. So if you can't see the pavement, always slow down. At the roundabout, turn right, second exit. Cheeky. you can take the next road on your right, please. When you're waiting in the middle of the road for a right turn, make sure as well as looking ahead, you're also looking across towards the right hand side in case of any pedestrians that might start crossing the road. If there's someone waiting to cross, eye contact to see what they're doing. If they step into the road, definitely wait for them. But if they're waiting in the middle and the road ahead is clear, you can turn safely. And turn left. I'm going to keep it fairly slow. So we're going to keep it fairly slow because I want you to pull in and park up. If you could pull in and park on the right hand side of the road, don't worry about the drives on this one, okay? Just keep going forward a little bit more. That's great there, thank you. So what I'd like you to do now is to reverse back for about 2 car lengths, keeping a reasonable distance from the pavement, and try not to touch the curb as you carry out this exercise. Before starting this reversing exercise, Abdullah does really well to look all around over his blind spots, but you want to make sure you're not reversing when there's traffic passing on your left. And whilst reversing, you want to continue looking over your shoulders, which he does not do.
Okay.
Okay, you can secure the car. Push. And then switch off the engine. Alright, that's the end of your driving test. How was your drive?
I think it was pretty good.
Okay, would you say that'll be a pass or a fail?
I think pass, hopefully.
Nearly.
Nearly.
Nearly. So unfortunately, no, you would not have passed. It was a very nice drive, really smooth. You know what you're doing. You're very confident. But there's a few bits where you would have been marked down. Do you want to guess where you think you could have failed?
Roundabout.
No, the roundabouts were good. The biggest issue for you is speed. How many times did you see it go over speed?
4 or 5 times.
Yeah? At the end of the day, look, it's a driving test. 30 is 30. And at one point you were driving 36 coming into that bend. So even if you were just driving 30 the whole time, that would have been fine. But just, you should have been a bit slower at that point, definitely. So that was your first serious fault, which was about 2 or 3 minutes down the road. Yeah? And then it crept up again. So the speed thing happened like 3 times at least. Yeah?
I realise, yeah.
Yeah, so it's a test, 30 is 30. Another time was on the dual carriageway 30, where you were now 34, 35, and then you kind of braked. Because as soon as you realise you are braking, but it's the fact that we're getting up to that speed and staying at that speed sometimes, okay? So that was the main one. Besides that, how was your emergency stop?
I think it was good.
Yeah, we did stop quickly. Now, before moving off, where did you look?
What do you mean?
Before moving off,
Yeah.
after the emergency stop, did you look around?
Yeah, in the mirrors.
In the mirrors. Okay, now unfortunately that is not enough.
Blind spots.
Blind spots. Yeah?
Yeah.
So even if the drive's perfect but you're not checking your blind spots at these key areas, it's a concern. Okay? And lastly, this little reverse here. Control, very nice. Can't fault you. Where were you looking?
In the mirrors.
Yeah. Now, if you look over your shoulder to the right-hand side, you see this big gate.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when we were up there, that area is not covered in the mirror. So this entrance of this house. So if somebody started walking out from the right-hand blind spot, you wouldn't see them until it's too late. Yeah. And plus, the other thing is, you know, when we started reversing, there was a black car about to go past you, and you started reversing at the same time. Do you remember that?
Going that way.
No, right at the beginning. Yeah, going up.
Yeah.
So when you know you're about to reverse, especially with that red car parked opposite, it would have been a good idea to just wait for him.
Yeah, to go past.
Yeah. So your drive is really nice, but it's these key little bits. So blind spots, because you got marked down for those twice.
Yeah.
And then use of speed.
Speed.
Generally, when driving up to some of these roundabouts, you're really confident with going into third, driving in third, driving in fourth. But then you approach these junctions, like these mini roundabouts and little turns and stuff, sometimes a bit too fast. Like, you are controlling it on the turn, but it's the speed at which we're getting there. You know when we were doing that Hillingdon signs, the last roundabout, you literally took it in fourth. That little one was just like, oh.
Yeah. I felt a smooth.
Yeah.
To that bend, yeah.
That's it. Even that turn beforehand, I'm like, oh, I'm just flying about. So yeah, just take these junctions slower. Okay. In terms of your awareness with your mirrors on top of it, no concerns whatsoever. Yeah, even when that motorbike come up, I saw you looking even before he come up, so it was good. You're always aware of what's behind you. You haven't got long to go at all, so well done for the drive today. But just bear these things in mind when you're driving, of course. But overall, not long to go at all. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Is this what you expected from today? Did you?
I thought I would have passed, but obviously I knew there was some things I needed to work on and stuff, like blind spots and stuff. Like, I know to check them, but then I forget.
Yeah.
So then, and then even the speed, when I see it creeping up, and then I realised, I was like, oh my, and then I slowed down.
Yeah, it happened a few times, like you'd watch it and it'll come back down, but yeah, you can't be going over, especially on those parts where the road is getting busier, and then like even the high street, just take it a bit slower. Yeah. Alright guys, that is the end of another mock test. Hopefully you have enjoyed this and actually learned something along the way. That was a really good, confident drive, but just work on these things. Thank you. Alright, if you enjoyed watching this, thumbs up and subscribe. Bye!